You're on keto and you want something sweet. Well, I got an answer for you. Zucchini. We're going to take this zucchini and we're going to turn it into a wonderful zucchini chocolate bread that you're going to have with your coffee, with your tea. It's going to satisfy all your sweet cravings, and you'll never be able to tell that it's a keto-friendly sweet. So we start this out by mixing using what's called the muffin method. You start with a cup and a half of almond flour and a half cup of xylitol. You're adding in a quarter cup of cocoa, then you add in 2 teaspoons of cinnamon and 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. Now you stir this all together and get it all mixed up. You always want to put a little bit of salt into whatever you're making when it's sweet. So we're going to use about a quarter teaspoon of salt in this. Now that's all your dry ingredients. Put that aside, get another bowl, and in your other bowl you mix up your wet ingredients. Okay, so for the wet ingredients, you take that zucchini, you cut off the 2 ends, and then you grate it. And you want to have enough zucchini to grate so that you have a cup of grated zucchini after you squeeze the water out. And so we've got that. This took us 2 zucchinis to do. Put that in your bowl with the wet ingredients. Put in 2 eggs. Add a quarter cup of melted butter. Add in a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now you add a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar into it. Between the salt and the vinegar, this is going to punch everything up. Give you a nice, sweet, tangy, salty flavor, but it'll be nice and sweet mostly. Okay, now you want to add in about a quarter cup plus 2 tablespoons, so that's the equivalent of about 3 ounces of cream. Get your beaters and mix this all up till it's smooth. Okay, and now you add your dry into your wet and mix them all up together. You know, one of the benefits to this keto cooking is you're not using flour. When you use flour, you want to be very careful not to overmix stuff because flour has gluten in it, and if you mix it together, it becomes tough, it becomes chewy. Here in the keto, you're using almond flour rather than regular flour, so you don't have to worry about activating gluten, and you can just mix everything until it's really well mixed. Like this. This is really well mixed. Now we want to go ahead and we pour it into a loaf pan. Bind our loaf pan with parchment paper just because we don't particularly like our loaves to stick to the side. So Young's going to pour this in. Okay, now we use these Lily's chocolate chips. These are really nice. They have no sugar in it. They're very keto friendly, extremely low in carbs, and they have a lot of flavor. I want to take about a half a cup of these, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to kind of pour them on top and just slightly mix them into the top. They'll sink through while you're baking. In the pan, stir them in a little bit. And now it's ready to bake. So you're going to bake this for 40 minutes at 375 degrees. Then you're going to put some aluminum foil on the top so that the top doesn't burn, and you're going to bake it another 10 to 15 minutes. And the benefit to being the chef is sometimes a couple of chocolate chips stick in the little measuring cup, and you get to eat them. Okay, so it's been out of the oven for about an hour. It's cool now. Now you can put it in the refrigerator, and after a couple of hours in the fridge, it's going to get even fudgier, and it's a great fudgy tasting cake, especially when you're on keto and can't have anything sweet. You can have this, and this is really nice. This is great. This is just like a nice fudgy tea bread or tea cake, and it's real chocolatey. It's got the texture from the zucchini, but it's just sweet enough, and it's got the chocolate chips in there. It goes really well with tea, so I definitely recommend trying this when you're in the mood for something sweet.